All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe. I actually use this light. I don't know if I ever did a commercial for it or not, but what I'm working on is our 86 Ramcharger Revival, and you'll see I got some mudded over spots there and there. I had to cut giant chunks of rust out of that and kind of fixing it up, making it nicer. So we're on the downhill slope of this thing finally, and what I'm doing in this video, I want to get this stuff painted. So I'm painting the gold from here down, and I'm going to do this section all the way back. And you'll notice, like the door and this front section, there was really no damage in them at all. They're pretty nice. Someone glued the trim on with some kind of old foam sealer stuff that really made me regret taking it off, but it's not going to be a big deal. I'll slowly work it off there. But I elected to paint this whole bottom section, so all the way around the corner. I'll tape up to our line or just past it because the trim's going to cover. And like here, the trim won't cover that, so I got to be careful around there not to paint it. But I'll repaint our rockers, repaint the bottom of the door edge just inside there to where it blends. And I'm probably gonna leave that section alone up there because it's far enough away, no one will be able to judge and tell if that gold is a slightly different hue from this gold. But I gotta do both sides, and this will be the same gold that we used on our back hatch. So when you step off and look at the vehicle, you're gonna have a fat piece of trim here. You're gonna see the nice shiny gold at the bottom. Our paint here in the middle, it has a few little, speck there. Few little specks that could use some touch-up paint. I'm probably going to try to touch them up and just buff that out a little bit. It has little scratches like that, so I know it's weathered and worn, but we don't want to repaint an entire truck. There's plenty of stuff that we could do. There's another little dent, but we're gonna make it as nice as we can and get this thing back on the road. So what I'm doing right now, since I told you all that, is taking my straight edge razor and slowly and meticulously taking this stuff down as thin as I can. Then I'll try to shoot some lacquer thinner on it, see if it'll come on off there if I just keep cutting away. But anyway, that's my goal. It won't be painted today, obviously. You can still see I want to shoot a couple. I got a little bit more filler right there, and I want to shoot the whole thing in primer, block my primer and prime it again before the final showdown. But lovely day in the neighborhood to do some wet sanding. I think my body work is 99.9% done. So this was just the first 2 coats of filler primer, and you can see I just got real faint. Let's see if I can wipe her there. There we go. Few highs, which I can't feel that with my finger. A few little high spots there. I got a little bit more sanding to do through here, if you can see that. Focus, there we go. A few little small spots. But for the most part, I think we're doing pretty good. I didn't sand that at all yet. That was kind of a bigger spot, but I'll get down, knock that out. This ugly stuff here, I'm gonna probably sand it in with a rough Scotch-Brite because my big piece of trim covers all that. So we're more worried about from here down versus the little ugly transition. I still need to sand the bottom of my door all the way down, the rocker panel, and that front section right there, that fender. But that's patch 1. I haven't touched this one yet since priming it, so I'll sand it next. You can kind of see the texture. There you go. I try to put it on pretty thick, and it'll sand and give me a nice surface to start with here. I gotta knock a little more stuff off that. Another piece of tape. But they're so much better. It's just been an ongoing project for me because I'll step away for a few days. My primer will dry, or let my filler really dry. But overall, she's looking pretty straight. So I feel good about that one. I wanted to show you some pieces that I cut off this. There we are. And I had even stripped the metal on the front side, thought, well, those aren't very large or spots. I'll just cut out larger. And look how much funk I got out of there. See our pretty original gold paint. Terrible on the backside. Same thing here. If we look down this one, I also need to clean a little more stuff off my pegs before I go to paint, because that'll be a problem. And but I had a patch through here, or 2 patches. And then same thing with the other side, this front lip. I had to rebuild from about here down. So that was a separate piece of metal, that was a separate piece of metal. This whole edge was a separate piece of metal that went out and also curved around. So I had probably a 6 by 9 inch piece of metal there, and I had to just basically weld it back in. You can see a little bit of my weld through here. I don't think that matters. But yeah, I'm gonna get that blocked off. I'll probably go ahead and seal the whole shebang, see, to cover up stuff like that. You know, that's kind of a light rustiness where the trim rubbed, like rattled and rubbed for years. And I got to go all the way up to here. So all I've done through here was just take a Scotch-Brite and a little bit of alcohol, like spray-away glass cleaner, and scrub that through. So I'll actually put a piece of sandpaper on and sand on my DA and get as much of that as I can. Then I'll have to hand sand around into here. I think that was maybe the original gold versus the repaint. So maybe they had just taped up. See where the clear's kind of stacked up right there. And I gotta sand that all the way down where, you know, you drag your foot in and out and it kind of gets to bare metal. So that needs to come down and get around my edges. So my bodywork sections are almost done. Those sanded off really nice. See my little tiny high spot right there. Not a big deal. That's gonna get sealed back up, but this stuff was horrendous. And you see these little tiny pecks like this? They got a little rust spot inside of every one of them. So I had to strip this down to bare metal. See my reflection in it. Strip it down to bare metal. I got another spot here, it's got to get stripped. And all those little spots have to be stripped, or if you paint over them, they will eventually rust. So nothing to it. Today is finally the day. You can see my little spot ends here with some primer. I'm painting this thing today. I'll do my whole bottom section. I was a little bit light here, so I reprimed that. Before I can shoot this, I need to go around and scuff it. I got to get some more light back here. Go around and scuff it all one more time. I got a really fine Scotch-Brite, and I also like using my Scuff It paint prep gel right before, you know, like example on this, in this situation, I got my Scotch-Brite. I can get into areas like this. See the little, you know, factory stuff there. Any curves, any of that, it'll help knock the stuff down, and it will actually abrade it a little bit more, but not leave giant scratches. You know, my little holes here, factory style pinch welds. But yeah, after I go over that, I got to do both sides. It's going to be probably at least half a day of masking. So here's my box of good stuff. I want to say this is 3M. Yeah, there we go. Overspray protective sheeting. So pull the sheet, we'll go all the way over the top. I can pull it down. You know, I can even cover my front section of wheel and everything down. If I want to do it to the floor, I can. I hate for overspray and stuff to be cast into here. You can kind of see a little bit of stuff, but a lot of that I can just pressure wash off. And I also thought about taking it like a matte black and going back in here and refinishing just quickly. Well, we're not looking bad. You can see kind of little spots there where the trim lives. The one good thing about these pegs, had some red on my glove, it's kind of showing me how we're tacked up, we're tacked off. Ready for another coat. I'm gonna move a little bit quicker this time, but my bodywork looks really nice. Remember, I cut a ginormous spot out of that right there. And back there. So let's go back to work. Here's something you don't see every day. I'm showing you a beautiful mistake. If you saw me paint this a minute ago, I think I had pulled from that side in and did this. Then I did my bottom, and then I ended up going back and forth, like running from that edge to there, running that edge to there. Had a big old juicy run right here too. You can see it through there. So it looks like this because after I saw the mega runs, I took a paper towel and wiped it off. So don't let that scare you. It does have some ridging to it right now. You can definitely feel that. I've got myself a new sheet of 400, and I'm going to lightly wet sand this. Wet sand, yeah, I got a little fingerprint right there too from my glove, but that would be covered. But it's got to be fixed, and I can wait until next week and do it. Or if I do it now, get it all nice and dry, then I can go back to work on this and clear it all in the same day. So that's my goal. I'll bring you back. So I'm on my way to get this fixed. I'm walking through the shop. I don't know what I did, but you'll notice the gold paint that I got on my welder and the floor. And this is one of those, you should not let the devil win. And here's what I mean. I dropped the paint gun. The Harbor Freight filler cup, when it hit the floor, snapped. I don't have any idea how. It broke my regulator off, and it broke my moisture catcher off, filter thing. I thoroughly enjoy that. It came from Harbor Freight also. So we're gonna roll, and this is the paint gun I've been using. It's a Nest Awada. That was my daddy's. I believe they're made in Japan or somewhere. Really nice gun. So I cleaned it out. I pulled the piece out. I put a new regulator on it, and I'm going to get my new Harbor Freight filling cup and go back to work, because I'm painting this Ramcharger today, Lord willing. Now look how much better that's looking. Still see a little light spot right there. Yes. Little light spot right there. Yes. Somewhere through here. I gotta get my light back out. Anyway, I think it's gonna work. I'm gonna let this flash off really, really, really well before doing another coat on here. My stuff around the rest of the truck looks nice. This is not clear coated or anything yet. There we go. Got some good repairs. Rocker's looking good. Air hose almost touched it. That would have been a bad day. So yep, flash time. That's all we need. All right, in case you want to know at home, here is the gold color I've been putting on that Ramcharger. There we go. It's actually a Suzuki Candle Orange. There's the brand code. And that is a base coat. So I just took them the Ramcharger. They took a picture of what the paint is on there. It has been repainted, but now I'm going to use the Speedo Coat Clear. I've had pretty good luck with that. I'm going to mix up plenty, do probably 2 wet coats and see how it looks. Should be good to go. I got all my clear down, and I think I did all right. Here's a piece of the old rusty ragged panel that I had cut out, and I wanted to kind of do a color comparison. See a little run right somewhere in there. Where you at? I want to do a little color comparison. Y'all can tell I don't actually want to touch it to the new paint, but I thought we're pretty slick. And when that trim goes on, then we're going to be downtown brown. Good back here. I like how my corner ended up here. Remember, I had to fix a dent right there. No dent anymore. Ah, here we go. Maybe I can stick it up against the tape. Catch a piece of light. I don't know. I guess I could peel the piece of tape off and stick it to the metal. Feel pretty good about that. Maybe it'll just stick to the clear. There we go. Yeah, I mean, in that shade of light right there, I think we're very close. And that's all you can really ask for. Paint looks good. Let's check the other side. I think I spotted a little run on the bottom. Ignore this red stuff over here. That was something else. There we go. Got a little bit of orange peel, not bad. And there was our spot earlier where the devil was trying to beat us. I got a little run right there. That does not scare me at all. The piece of trim, oh no, my trim goes up higher. That'll buff out. Not scared one bit, but at least I don't have to do any more color on it. I wanted to get that color down today. It's all out of the same batch. There won't be anything funny about matching it. I think we're all good to go. I don't really want to break the plastic off here. I'll peel my tape that's closest, but if I pull all the plastic off and throw it away and then I want to go buff something, it'll throw all my compound back up and I'll have to rewrap it or do something else. So I think I'm going to leave it. Hopefully y'all have a safe Easter weekend if you celebrate Easter or Passover, and I'll catch you next time. All right, Mopar people.